After being on the road for several weeks, spending time with Steve's family in Pennsylvania,
Good job, Ezra.
exploring towns along Lake Erie, crossing the border into Canada to spend a few days in Ontario, and taking a walk down memory lane where we spent our honeymoon 26 years ago, we arrived back in Ithaca, New York to spend time with my family, knowing that after a 4-year battle with cancer, my dad's remaining time was limited. Taking advantage of being parked in a driveway and more stationary for a while, we started to tackle some much-needed TLC for the van, including cleaning out our 12-volt fridge and defrosting the freezer.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. It feels good to get some things done here in the van. Got the refrigerator defrosted again. That's the second time we've had to do it in a year. So, got that done. Just got some general cleaning done. That was well overdue. It feels good to kind of smash that reset button.
We wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update. We are back in Ithaca. We've been here for a while now, and we've had a lot going on. Unfortunately, but not, I guess, unexpected, my dad took a turn for the worse. We had to help get him to the hospital several days ago, quite a while now actually. And when we got him there, we found out that he actually had COVID on top of other things that are going on. So he's in isolation. We can't visit him. So we've been kind of just in a holding pattern. We are very thankful that we're here at this spot where we've been mooch docking off and on throughout the summer, and that we have it kind of we can reset. We've been doing a lot of stuff we needed to do with the van here, just waiting until we can go see him again. Steve's been doing things like washing the van. We've been cleaning things. We defrosted the fridge, which the freezer had gotten really bad. And Steve changed the oil. So lots of things like that we've been doing as we wait.
As we've been in this holding pattern, we've tried to be patient and maintain a healthy balance each day. We've tried to maintain as much of a sense of normalcy as possible. We've been comforted by time with our little furry companion and entertained by her antics. We've enjoyed watching the local wildlife and neighborhood felines that frequent this downtown yard. We've also made an effort to take breaks from the heavy stuff going on, our regular work and van chores, to enjoy the beauty of the nature around us with daily walks to the nearby waterfalls.
So now that we've had a chance to tackle some of the more mundane tasks of van life, one of the items that has been on my list for a long time is the idea of a microwave. And of course, wasn't sure if we had enough power. Also, space is an issue. So we were kicking the idea around for quite some time. Having seen other people have one and use one in the van made me quite jealous. Our friends Bill and Christina have one, and seeing it in action just got my wheels turning even more. So now here we are, have a chance. We bought one here at Walmart, and I think it will work with energy consumption. And also now we're just gotta see if it'll fit in the van. We have maybe a couple spots where it could rest and be positioned, but we'll have to see.
I'm not a huge fan of cooking with a microwave, but it's definitely convenient sometimes. And I was thinking about that lately when we were sick, like especially when we want to heat up water for coffee or tea, or just do something fast like soup or reheat something. There are certainly benefits to having a microwave. So I like the idea of that, but for me, all this time we've been talking about it, I just think, oh, well, practically, like, where are we going to put it? How's it going to fit in our small space? So I've been being worn down a little bit more open to the idea. And we recently met a couple who are also building out a van, and she sent me a picture of their progress, and it had an adorable microwave that was like aqua color, and she said she got it at Walmart. So I said to Steve, okay, let's go look at microwaves. We'll at least see what there is. And we did look at that one, but we decided maybe that one's not the one for us. We got another one that's black that was a little bit smaller. That cool looking one had a handle that stuck out and some other things. We thought that could be a problem. So we bought this one. It's the lowest wattage I think that you can get, and also the smallest size that at least was at Walmart. We thought if anything's going to work, maybe this one will. So we're going to try it out. See if we can find a spot for it and see how it does. We'll see.
Well, alrighty, here it is. Let's open it up and get started. All right, there she is.
Well, it's a she, is it?
Yep, it's a female.
So one of the biggest questions is, like we mentioned, is going to be where is this thing going to go? We built this van with not much space for changing things up, but we have this basket here that was something we added when we went full time. We throw a lot of food in here and keep a lot of food over here, but we were thinking maybe, just maybe, we could move this, maybe keep stuff in the microwave and put the microwave here. We're going to have to see. That might take up a lot of space. Okay.
Or maybe like that.
So that's what I was thinking, but it does take up a lot of space. I mean, obviously the cooker wouldn't fit there with it, so we'd have to move the microwave whenever we want to use the cooker, I guess, right?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be similar to some of the other things we have in the van, like that basket where we're kind of juggling where it goes at different times depending on what we're doing or what we need the space for. Right now, I like the fact that it fits as nicely as it does on the counter. But before we get too carried away with where we're going to store it long term, I want to test it out to see if indeed it is rated at 700 watts. That's very key, especially with our power setup, to see if it has a surge of more. That could be concerning, but so I want to give it a quick little test and we'll see. All right, so I got everything plugged in to our Ecoflow Delta 2. It's rated at an 1800 watt surge rating, so it should be able to handle the microwave, which again is rated at 700 watts. So I'm going to turn the power on and hope for no fireworks. All right, so that's a good sign. Looks like we got at least power coming to the microwave.
So now is the moment of truth. We didn't have any microwave safe dishes in the van, so I went inside, grabbed a mug and filled it up with water. And we're gonna see how it does. Does it actually work when we use it to heat something up? Can our power unit handle it? Here it is. Nice little tiny microwave. I'm gonna press the minute and 30 seconds.
All right, so on our display, it's showing the output at 1.2 kilowatts, I believe is how you'd read that. So if I understand that correctly, that would be about 1200 watts. So certainly within the range. Seems to be handling it so far. We're about 30 seconds into it. So that's a good sign. One of the benefits of having a microwave, obviously, is you don't need it for but a couple minutes to heat something up, reheat something. So hopefully we continue to have success here.
Well, the cup hasn't disappeared, and I can tell it's hot. Let's see if it's, ooh, yeah, it's really hot. So that was successful. So here's our nice hot cup of water. What was our unit at when we started cooking it, heating it up?
It was showing 97% when we started. For that about a minute and a half that we used it, it dropped to 93%. I'm glad we did test this because, again, on the box it says 700 watts. And maybe I'm not understanding how to read this correctly, but it was showing 1.2 kW, which I'm assuming means kilowatt. So obviously that's higher than 700 watts. Maybe there's a setting on the microwave that we could change. Maybe it's set on high. We could set it to a lower power.
You can definitely do that, but it does say it's 700 watts, so that doesn't make sense. But electricity is always clear as mud to us, so that's why we have a simple Delta Ecoflow unit to begin with.
Right. I definitely missed that class in school. So
it brought it down about 5%.
4 or 5%, yeah.
And what's your opinion of how that impacts us for overall power?
That doesn't bother me. For as little as you use a microwave, again, maybe a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there. If you start out with a decent battery charge, then you should be fine. Again, if you just want a quick cup of coffee or tea, reheat some leftovers.
Probably a minute and a half was more than we needed, so.
Right. So.
We'll have to test some more things, I think.
So I'm happy with this initial test. Got to understand why it was showing 1.2 kW. But again, the Delta's rated at 1800 max, so should be good to handle. If it is set on the high setting, it should be able to handle that even better if we can set it to a lower setting. So far so good. Now the next step, I think, would be to say, okay, where are we going to keep this bad boy?
Is it worth the space?
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right, well, I was just leafing through the owner's manual for the microwave, and I found that there is a power level button, which is good. There isn't much literature beyond that, so I guess we're just going to have to trial and error it and see if we can get it to come down a little bit.
So, pretty standard with any microwave. To change the power level, we'd have to hit the time cook instead of the express cooking, and say we want to do a minute. Then you'd hit power level, and then see it. I think the default is 100%, so say we want half that. Now I've got it at 50, and then you hit start. Right. So we're going to start with cold water again, and I'm going to test it at the lower power level to see how it changes on the phone with the reading for the Ecoflow unit. Alright, so here we go. Pop it in there. Time cook. Do a minute. And then power level. I'll just say 5, so that should be half. Let's see how that corresponds. And start. You ready to start?
Yep. So that's interesting. When it first kicks on, it shows 1.2, but as the microwave is doing its thing, it'll drop it down about to 47 watts. So even though we have it on a different lower setting, it still seems to spike to 1.2, which is again about 1200 watts. All right, time for the old scientific finger test.
Ready? And I think it's warm enough for drinking. Not as hot as it was before, which makes sense because it's a lower power level, but it seems like it's plenty hot for tea.
All right, well, we started this little experiment at 91%, and we're down to 89, which I guess the math kind of holds up. When we were at power level 100 at the highest level, it dropped about 4 percentage points, and now when we tested it out at the medium level, it dropped half of that, 2 percentage points. What is interesting, confusing, is the fact that it still starts at 1.2 kilowatts. I guess there's no way to avoid that. So that's a bit of a bummer, but again, I think the Ecoflow Delta can handle it, is obviously handling it, and so I don't think that'll be an issue. So as far as the battery power is concerned, I'm pretty happy, and I think we can move forward with the next question, and that again is, where do we keep this bad boy?
Well, now it's starting to rain and thunder.
Yep.
So I think we're gonna have to mull this over and report back on what we decide,
Yep.
right? We got some work to do, and
In the meantime, I'm going to find things to nuke.
here.
Can we nuke a thing of peanuts?
Sure, that'd be really
Wait.
not?
How about a can of beans?
yes. Put
Microwaves handle metal, right?
What's the worst story you have with a microwave? When I was in high school, my brother and I had made microwave popcorn, and all the kernels didn't pop, so I just got the brilliant idea to put it back in to pop more, but I put a wooden clothespin that has a metal hinge on it and put it in the microwave, and our microwave caught on fire. That's my brilliant story.
So if we didn't keep the microwave here on the counter, this is about the only other spot I can think of to keep it. Behind the passenger seat. We currently have this basket with water jugs there, so that would have to sit on top of the microwave. So maybe that could work.
I'm getting some laundry together here. Just noticed we have a little visitor. What are you doing? Huh? Did you want to make a friend with Lady Grey? Huh? What are you doing? Little kitty. You can't come in here. Sorry, and Grey Grey can't come out and play. Sorry. Hey, weirdo. Do you know there's another kitty out here? Do you have any idea there's a kitty right outside the van? Huh? Would you like to see the kitty? Huh? No, you don't care. What are you doing? You want our kitty to come out and play? And now you care? Huh? Now you care? Did you tell that kitty to go away? Huh? Did you tell that kitty to go away? Did you tell it? Did you tell it to go away? That was kind of funny because our cat would go insane back when we had our house and she'd see another cat outside. And since we've been in the van, she hasn't seemed to care too much about other animals. So I couldn't record. She started to come back here and the cat was like literally right outside the door. And Grey Grey started to come back, so I couldn't keep recording and make sure that she didn't get into it with the cat. So I picked her up so she could see the cat, and she hissed at it. I was wondering if she'd do that. And she kind of watched it a little bit, and then she kind of cried a little bit and hissed again. And then I put her in the front seat, and then she just was looking out the window, wondering where it was. So that was about it. But obviously not going to chance her getting into a little kerfuffle with another cat. But kind of funny because that cat came right up to our van door. I actually looked and it had its front paws up on our front step, or our side step here. I'm wondering if it could smell the cat food and if that's what's drawing it, because there's some orange cats that have been around here and I don't think they're fed at all, or not much anyway. And already, little Lady Grey Grey does not care. There's a cat outside my van? I don't care. I just like to sleep. Oh, and on a side note, last night here, it was 100% humidity, and this morning, we're kind of dripping. It's pretty humid again. I'm going to guess it's up in the high 90s this morning. But at least it's not too hot, and at least it gets cool overnight here in New York. Speaking of cats, we've also had other wildlife around here. Almost every night we've had deer in the yard. There's 2 apple trees here, and the apples are dropping, and that draws the deer for sure. And it's funny because we're, downtown in a city, but they come down and they find these apples. And last night we were able to walk outside very slowly. I took Grey Grey out for a walk, actually. I kind of inched out with her and the deer moved a little bit away, but then it just watched me. So it's kind of interesting. I guess they're used to people, but it's pretty wild to see, and it's kind of fun to see them eating the apples, and then fun to see Grey Grey how she reacts. In many ways, she just doesn't care. We sometimes wonder if she can even see them, but last night when I did bring her out, I brought her kind of behind the house, and then at one point she did peek around the corner and there was a deer, like, I don't know, I'm gonna guess like 20 feet away, and it was like staring right at her. So she did look back at the deer for a while. Then she actually even sat and was just watching it for a while. But then she got bored and she just went back to eating grass. So it's kind of funny. I wish I could give you guys footage, but it's so dark at night. Our equipment, our phones can't even get video of them. It's just all dark. So, but it's been fun seeing them. And sometimes at night they just even lay in the yard and just hang out here. So currently we are repositioning. We have left downtown Ithaca. We're heading to the lake to spend some time with family. Additionally, we have reached a consensus on the microwave. Steve, you want to give an update on that?
Drum roll, please. We have decided to keep it. For the cost involved, it was less than $60. It's kind of a no-brainer that even if we were to change our mind somewhere down the road, it's not that big of a loss. And right now we're experimenting with where to keep it while we're driving, and right now we have it behind the passenger seat. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, he's got it all configured, so we feel like on the floor it doesn't slip at all really anyway. We have our basket that had been behind my seat that had water bottles in it. He's got that on top of the microwave and it's bungeed. So we're seeing how that does as we drive. And actually, it doesn't take up as much space as I thought. I don't even notice much of a difference compared to just the basket that was there. And we are also working on cleaning out our laptop bags so they don't take up as much space, so we can hopefully put them back in the closet more often where they go. So we'll keep you posted on that. And for now, we're heading to the lake. Hopefully the weather's going to cooperate and we'll have a nice time a couple days there. Good morning, you guys. It's been a long time since I've been up for a sunrise. I'm really glad it's for this one at the lake here, because this place is so special. And it's a beautiful morning. But we have a lot going on. We shared that we've come down to the lake. We've been down here for a couple days, just kind of waiting things out with my dad since he's been in isolation. But we got word last night that they're going to be letting him have visitors today. So our plan is to head there, about an hour away to the hospital. And we're expecting that he doesn't have more than a day or two. We could be wrong, but he's pretty bad. So I just wanted to share that. It's always hard to know how much to share, but you guys follow along, and some of you remember from the beginning when we first found out he had cancer. And it's been a long 4 years. He's been fighting really hard. So we're just gearing up this morning, getting ready to head there. We know it could be a little bit of a long haul here, and we're just praying that things go as well as they can for him. It's always a hard thing to go through. So we're just trusting God in all this, and timing and everything. So we will catch you later when we can. I'm not sure when that'll be.